Welcome to the Tech on Toast podcast, the show that connects hospitality with technology one slice at a time. I'm your host, Chris Fletcher, and each week we're joined by the sharpest minds in the industry, from operators and founders to tech pioneers, to uncover the tools, trends, and stories shaping the future of hospitality. This season is brought to you by Deliverect, the trusted order management platform helping thousands of hospitality businesses streamline service, reduce errors, and serve up better guest experiences. Whether you're scaling dark kitchens or managing multiple brands, Deliverect helps you connect your channels and power up performance. All right, let's get to it. Coming up on this week's Tech on Toast podcast.
24social is our web content solution for the hospitality industry.
Go and build themselves a website in, 3 minutes? I mean, literally you're drag and dropping your images in, you're putting your details in, your opening hours, and you're away, right? On a very basic level.
Our My Place product. This is for the venue manager who hasn't got time to manage their website because they're more busy, which they should be, managing their staff. There's no trial and error. You just enter your details and it's built. So hence,
do you want a spade to keep digging?
No, that's fine. If you don't have a presence online in every digital channel, there's generally going to be an opportunity missed. We're very much hot on that trend of, can we cater to every single kind of individual, and what does that look like?
That's why people end up in a mess when they build their own website, because they want to do it their way and have it in. But actually, you can still do that through a framework that someone's built for you, which is what you guys have done.
The AI menu. You can literally take a photo off your phone and you click upload, and it will upload that as a menu onto your website.
And you can do all this on your mobile?
All of it. Again, it's just because no size fits all. You know, it's a case of that journey and making sure that everyone's covered in some way or another.
Welcome to the next episode of the Tech on Toast podcast, and today I'm delighted to be joined. Can I say old friend now?
I think you can. I think we're old chums.
Let's say old friend. MD of 24social, MVG Media. It's Gab Lopez. Hello, Gab. How are you?
I'm very well. Thank you for having me.
Let's get the naming bit out of the way first, because Gab Lopez doesn't sound like you're from Cardiff.
Well, no, but funny thing you mention is because of my accent, everyone thinks, well, you're not from Spain. You haven't got any Spanish connection. So I used to be called Gavin Smith when I was at university, which wasn't the best name in my opinion. Sorry, Gavin Smiths out there.
Gavin Smith is actually the MD of Pizza Pilgrims.
Of course it is. Of course it is. That's
the random name you picked out.
That's naturally what I do. I unintentionally upset people. No, I'm only joking. No, but Gavin was just a joke because Gab is short for Gabriel. And so people, whenever they hear Gab, they think I've said Gav. Yeah. So that's where Gavin, and Smith is just a very common English name. So hence
do you want a spade to keep digging?
No, that's fine. No, Gab, I prefer, a Spanish heritage. My parents came to the UK, and my sister and I were born here, and I've lived here ever since, really. So,
well, welcome. We're in Vorbos today with some lovely lighting and lots of big cameras. Feel like we're on TV.
I know. I mean, I've never seen so much bright lights apart from the dentist chair, but this is great.
This is much more pleasurable, I think.
Indeed it is.
So look, before we get into it and we rattle on, tell us a little bit about 24social, because it's becoming a frequent conversation of mine when I'm out meeting, particularly pub partners at the moment. Tell us a little bit about what you guys do and where you're at.
Absolutely. So 24social is our web content solution for the hospitality industry, specifically made to tailor the needs of any kind of hospitality-led company. So from pubs, bars, your sleepy village pubs, your city central pubs, and we're looking forward to expanding that outside of the kind of pubs and bars. We've worked with nightclubs before, and obviously the hotel industry and cafes is where we want to kind of naturally move to. But essentially, we are a web content solution. We have created our product from the ground up, specifically tailoring to hospitality sectors. And we've actually expanded to 2 products. So we've got our enterprise product, which is our multiple brands management content solution system. So it just makes everyone's life easier to share content across multiple brands, tailored to their specific designs and needs. And then the other one, which we've just launched, which we're super excited about, is our My Place product. This is for the venue manager who hasn't got time to manage their website because they're more busy, which they should be, managing their staff and managing their clients at the front of the bar. We've basically wanted to eliminate any barriers from having to manage a website on a laptop. Everyone's got on their mobiles. Everyone uses their mobiles to view websites. 80% of the market suggests that. So let's give the power to the venue manager, to the pub owner, to the landlord to basically control the website on their phone. So we've removed the dashboard with My Place. There is no dashboard. It's all front end, and anyone can use it. And I'll go into a bit more detail as to why we did that. But that's pretty much the premise of our 2 products.
I mean, I love it, and I've used it, right? And I've seen a demo, not used it. I haven't got my own restaurant yet.
One day,
there's one thing.
When that day happens,
we were just talking about adding more stuff to my business. Maybe I'll just get a restaurant.
That's it. And the hardest job will be to choose the name of that pub or restaurant, because
there'd definitely be something on toast, wouldn't it?
It has to.
But like I obviously went through a demo with you guys when you joined us, and we were working with you. And what I really like about it, if you've ever used a Wix or a Squarespace or I'm trying to think of these website builders, they are good, right? And they are intuitive, but they're not like you guys. And I think the difference for me is that as you just said, then you're built for hospitality operators, and I physically could get any of my former GMs who I've worked with in the past to go and build themselves a website in 3 minutes? I mean, literally you're drag and dropping your images in, you're putting your details in, your opening hours, and you're away, right? On a very basic level.
Absolutely, yeah. We like to call it you're not building, you're kind of generating a website.
Generating, yeah.
You basically put in your details, you put in your imagery, and then you choose your color scheme, and the site's up. It's that simple, it's that quick. You can then tailor your experience, and that's kind of phase 2 within it. But the idea is, if, for example, you're a pub that has a very community-led, type of individual who attends, you want to kind of try to break the barrier of Facebook, which is often what we find is that the Dog and Duck, for example, has a Facebook page and posts all its data there. But then you're kind of ring fencing your customers. Yeah. Whereas actually a website is still a valuable asset because it can actually help with conversions. That's the key thing that we wanted to really kind of establish and also support, because Facebook is great for the people who know how to use it. And obviously, of that generation, of that ilk.
Meta is the devil.
But
yes.
But this is where it's heading, is that people, like Facebook is in some respect a certain segregated group now. Yeah. But actually, we want to kind of allow that expansion with a website, but not make it so complicated that it's not easy to use. So because
you go through a lot of local businesses, don't you, on Facebook that exist on Facebook, and probably born out of the pandemic when people are building groups everywhere, but they haven't taken that next step, or they've had a go at taking that next step, and it's been difficult.
Yeah, I mean, I went to a venue near my local, a village next door to where I live, and she said, I was trying to use Rackspace to build a website using their system because I bought my domain, and they have a free solution. I just couldn't get on with it. And I said, well, would you like to try this? And that stemmed that relationship there alone, because of just the trial and error perspective. Yeah. And we just want to eliminate that. We want to there's no trial and error. You just enter your details and it's built.
And was that the problem that you set out to fix then? I suppose, what was the original thing that sparked this kind of journey?
Well, I think historically, because our business has worked with the hospitality sector for 20 odd years now, and we've worked with major operators, of different sizes. And the one thing that was apparent is that no size fits all. You have different types of groups within the operators. So you have the brand kind of led group, then you have the tenants, then you have the independents. And the one thing that was really apparent between all three of them is that they just don't have the time. I think that's fair for pretty much every profession. Let's be fair. You have to do stuff that you wish you didn't, but you have to.
Yeah, and I think with hospitality, we're obsessed with the customer, right? Or we should be. Yeah, we're obsessed with the customer and our product. So whatever the product, whether it's a food or a drink, whatever. And I think these things are a distraction, although obviously now people understand that actually it's a window to the world. It helps them grow their business, etc., etc., and also makes them competitive. Because if you don't have that angle, you're also someone next door does.
Well, this is it. It's a case of if you don't have a presence online in every digital channel, there's generally going to be an opportunity missed. Yeah. I think that's the best way of saying it, because you have a group of people who use Twitter, who use Instagram, who use Facebook, who use websites. And I was talking to a friend of mine and he was like, I only use Google. And I said, yeah, of course, but Google is the starting point. You'll look at Google and then you'll click on visit website, and that might be to look at their menus, to look at their anything that they're doing locally, like any events. And that's kind of where it starts, because you'll start at one point, but hopefully you'll navigate to a website, because I think it's almost like the establishment, isn't it, of any kind of company, is to have a website. And I think venue managers and independents, and when they're competing with it's a very tough market to compete with, they've got to try to stand out. So that's why we wanted to go to every kind of venue and cater to them for somewhere or another.
I liken a website sometimes like a shopping centre. Bear with me here.
Go for it.
So when I used to work in college, I used to have lots of shopping centres. God, they hated me, obviously. Mm-hmm. So most of my sites were in shopping, and they were always anchored by John Lewis. They used to call it anchored. So John Lewis would be the main face of that shopping centre. Then everyone else would then sign up because John Lewis had gone in.
Sure.
And I actually think that the website anchors you to where your brand sits or where your business sits, and actually allows people to come and bring more people into the mix. mix.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people say, yeah, of course, website makes sense, Chris. But I think tailoring it to your brand and being able to do that in a really quick and simple way without having to hire a marketing department or someone who, often it's the guy on the floor or the guy behind the bar or the girl who works wherever who ends up being the website builder because they've done it at uni or whatever it might be. And this just takes away a lot of that pain, doesn't it? And puts you back in a place where there's a bit of control as well to get back in here, isn't there?
Absolutely. I think you've kind of touched on that from an operator, like with multiple brands. And one thing that we've kind of learned in the last few years with our enterprise model is that there are templates that everyone uses across the industry. And how do you make those templates more catered to your needs? So that's what we've done with our enterprise. We've kind of given the keys to the kingdom really to the marketing team, so that we've got pre-designed templates. For example, food and drink, offers, rhythm of the weeks. These are event pages that are naturally needed upon your website. Mother's Day, Father's Day, all these kind of very high-hitting event, very specific time of the year events, but they're all there catered to you. And the idea then is that you just tweak them to your needs and you publish them. Everyone's talking about Christmas already, which is quite a scary statistic.
And depressing.
Because our summer's kind of gone.
Summer.
Well, come on, let's just enjoy. I think we had our 2 weeks. We had our 2 weeks, Chris. I think we're good.
Mr. Lopez, I would expect you to be planning for more summer.
I would love to. I wish I'd put some sun cream on today, but unfortunately, alas, I did not. But no, I think it's apparent to us in our kind of day-to-day of working with the hospitality sector is that you have to have things tailored to your needs within your brand or your kind of image. But it's the time that takes, and that's how we've tried to kind of limit that. And that not only goes for the enterprise, but the MyPlace solution. So we have different types of venues using it that are sleepy pubs or restaurants or bars. The best one is the cocktail bar. We've got one in St Albans called Punching Palooka. And they love the dark theme. Well, who doesn't at a bar? It's like I have this argument with my developers. It's like they hate light theme. They hate it. And whenever I ask for a request in light theme, they said, "Oh, you're so old-fashioned. Nobody uses it anymore." So the day I landed a site that had uses light theme, I was absolutely tearing them to pieces with it. It was fantastic. But it highlights the point is that everyone's different. Everyone wants a slightly different design. Everyone wants to cater to their needs.
It's a rabbit hole, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I did God knows why I got into this, but when I started being not entrepreneur, I hate that word, but when I started running my own businesses, I was obsessed with websites. Yeah. Like it was my and it's like a rabbit hole. You go onto it, and you might have a good eye, right, or you understand what good looks like, but actually doing it is. I mean, there's a reason why there's professional people who do this, because it is hard work and you need to be dedicated to it. And I think I found that out the expensive way. And I reckon I've built 25 websites since I started my own business. Really? Myself, across Squarespace, Webflow, all the different versions. And actually, the best website I've done, I paid someone to do. It's
funny you mentioned that because, our team, we've got 2 UX experts, Pablo and Sam. And Pablo, he's been with the business for over a decade, I think now. And Sam, he's kind of our newbie. But they both will challenge each other of like, that doesn't look good. And Sam is very hot on the accessibility side of things, because that's something that sometimes is quite, it needs to be remembered, but often prioritized at phase 2.
Yeah, even if it comes something,
and then like, we need to consider that. So we're very much hot on that trend of, can we cater to every single kind of individual, and what does that look like? And that goes from both the enterprise and the kind of MyPlace solution, because some people do need to have that support, and actually then it just makes your website even more approachable. Yeah, more demographics can reach you. And it's interesting because like the facilities is such a great one. Sometimes you can have too many facilities, but sometimes facilities are really good because they promote. And I was talking to somebody the other week, and she was like, I will not go to a pub that doesn't have a dog walking section or like a dog friendly section. Yeah. And I'm like, so dogs are important to you? I said, yeah, they're everything. And it's like, well, that's good, because facilities should cover dog walking. Yes. And actually your SEO and your promotion of that website should cater to that, because you're going to get ramblers coming through with their dogs and things is that.
We spend a lot of time in Cornwall, and that is a number one ask for us with our dog. Yeah. If we can't go with the dog, we just won't go.
Well, this is it.
He's on holiday too, right?
This is it. It's actually his holiday, not yours, because you go out all the time,
I feel like my life is his, to be fair.
That's it, the life of a dog, eh? But no, it just highlights the point of the UX is quite key, and the data you put into the system is quite key to promote your products and your style as well, and things like that.
And talk us through. So I've been through this a little. I think did I see My Place, the one that I did with you?
Yes.
So talk us through. So I've landed on. Is it self-serve, or do I have to come and speak to you first?
Well,
or how does it work?
we want to essentially, if you're really not tech savvy, which there are naturally some of us are, and I, to be fair, I think everyone's got a level, and then it's almost like can you improve on that? But some people don't have the time as well.
Yeah.
So we absolutely do cater to, if you're interested, we will generate the website because it takes us 2 to 3 minutes. It's not like a long time, but you can do it yourself. You can go on our website. You can put in you can just put an email address. You can find your venue. So we have a system which uses basically Google to grab your data, paste it in there, and then you can then choose to then build your website upon the dog and duck. So, that's how it starts. And then you just cherry pick the styles, the look and feel, upload your photos, and then you use the AI generating systems that we have to generate your event data. You can generate your About Us data if you wish to. Right, and you can just put something in like rustic pub, and then it will generate a template that looks like a template. It grabs your opening times from Google. So again, you don't have to input anything. But I'll save the best feature, which we're really proud of, is the AI menu. So what you might be wondering what that is. It's basically, if you're at a pub and you've got,
like my life, an AI
this is
menu.
an AI menu, Chris. What is on your menu today? But you go to a pub, you've got a chalkboard, and you've got all your menu on your chalkboard. You can literally take a photo off your phone, and you click upload, and it will upload that as a menu onto your website. There is no need to interact. It grabs the data, and then you can upload photos if you wish to, because there is a demographic of people who like to see what they're eating, and that actually generates potentially another group of individuals looking at your website. So, but the AI generator, it's just to save you time. If you've got a bunch of starters, mains, and desserts, and you just want to quickly upload it, that's the idea. And if you've got like a Sunday special,
I was going to say seasonal stuff.
Seasonal stuff is a great one. We can cater to multiple menus. We've got children's menus, senior menus, senior price menus, and things like that. It's all there available at the touch of a button. Now, obviously, you can do old school. You can still upload your PDF, and that can be there. And you can download that. You can use the system to generate the content if you wanted to just cherry pick which ones you wanted. So it's not about one size fits all. Like it's not about one journey. It's how you wish to use
the personalization of it is still and I think that's what people look for, that's why people end up in a mess when they build their own website, because they want to do it their way and have it but actually you can still do that through a framework that someone's built for you, which is what you guys have done. Exactly. And I'm guessing from a franchise point of view in that way as well, it's quite nice, right, to be able to say kind of we own the key. I think you said the keys to the kingdom. So kind of like we've got control of this. I'm thinking from a central office. We work with some big pub partners where we're trying to find them solutions. In fact, one yesterday we were talking to about how they control. They don't want to own it, as in they don't want to get stuck into it, but they want to have that access. So if a landlord leaves, another one comes along. That's an easy transfer. It's not something difficult to do, and you guys cover that.
Exactly. We have different structures within our enterprise that we call it the venue manager mode. So the operators at the very top level, the head office, will control certain data, but they might want to give the venue manager of a set they can
get images or something.
Exactly. They might want to just control the food and drinks. They might want to just control the opening times, things like that. So they don't touch every aspect of it, but it's all controllable. So you can choose which areas you'd like them to access or not. And then the same applies to the My Place application. If you don't need to use events because you're not showcasing events, you can turn that off. We've introduced sporting fixtures because a lot of the wet walks, they naturally showcase sporting games. With the Premier League coming up, it's perfect timing to start to kind of promote what's coming up. So that's all integrated. But again, it's if you don't have football fixtures or you don't have food, you can turn those off. So you don't have like wasted space on the website. And the reason we've done that is, again, it's just because no size fits all. It's a case of that journey and making sure that everyone's covered in some way or another.
And I suppose, if you've got like I don't know, story is not right the words, but if you've got like an example of someone who's taken, kind of worked with you and had a bit, you've mentioned the lady before, who was kind of like, I just can't get this going. Have you got any more examples of people who've taken you on and kind of had a bit of a wow moment?
Yeah, I mean, we had, so Punching Palooka is a great example that he was struggling to upload events on his website. He's a cocktail, a mixologist. That's mixologist.
Like a posh bartender.
Exactly. Well, I think we're undermining the mixologies there, but no, I mean, like a good cocktail is hard to find sometimes.
Yeah, I'll take it back.
But he realized that, for him, it's a case of uploading events in a timely manner to promote the Friday that's upcoming, to showcase the kind of cocktails that they're working on. and he was struggling with it on his previous system. So we basically just gave him the access to the MyPlace application that we built for him, and he goes, just try it, and it's essentially a form, but it has like 3 fields with AI integrated elements. Upload your picture on your mobile. The pictures are optimized. So, the thing about iPhones and Android phones is that the pictures can be huge.
Yes.
But we have to optimize them immediately. Otherwise, it impacts your page rankings and your speed.
And you can do all this on your mobile?
All of it. Yeah. You don't need a laptop. The amount of... I went to a venue because I don't even have a laptop anymore. So I can't do this. I said, what, have you got mobile? Well, of course I've got a mobile. Judging me for asking that question. And it's like, well, you can do it that way. And he was like, okay, that's cool. But he basically said... He's busy. He just needs to make an event and make it live straight away, and that's it. And I think that's a success story within MyPlace. But the other thing with enterprise that we really try to make a big noise about is we're not the experts, and I can't believe I'm going to say this, because the experts are the people in the industry, such as the operators. Now, obviously, we've been working in the hospitality sector for so many years, and we know what they need to a degree. But they might be coming up with some radical ideas that they want to promote new things. And we're like, well, what do you need? What do you need the system to do? Whereas if you go to a Sitecore or a WordPress, you might have to find somehow to do that. We will add that to our application for you if we feel like it's the right path for the application. The application's roadmap is designed by the people who use it, as well as ourselves, because we'll come up with some ideas too. But if they need it to do something, we'll build it. A great example is... we've done, gamification is always a great example of how we can introduce new features and things like that. And also kind of the integrated API journeys for booking. Nobody wants to see a widget on a page anymore.
No.
They want to see the branded page. The user experience needs to be defined that way. And it needs to be all mobile for you. So mobile first, mobile everything. But desktop has still got its place, because I think a lot of people still make lots of corporate bookings that way, things like that. So we just try to make the roadmap accessible to the people we work with. And that feeds the progress of it too. So that's kind of the big thing about it.
Sorry, just wait for the trolley to go past. Get that.
Hope she's got some cocktails on there, maybe.
No, maybe it's the posh bartender.
Posh bartender that you talked about.
And what about and I suppose, and you mentioned integrations and iterations to the product.
Yeah.
What does the future look like for 24social? So, because obviously you can go, this can be very broad and wide.
Well, it's interesting because we've gone to a lot of conferences this year that talk about low and no, that talk about the demographic of people not drinking much. We've gone to the fact that there's a lot more venues opening up as independents as well. So a lot more kind of lease and tenanted is happening. So we're trying to cater to the need of that demographic of how do we incorporate new features to kind of showcase new products such as the low and no's and things like that. And obviously that's all kind of templated in terms of pages, but there's always ways that we can kind of expand on that. We've realized that there's a lot more integrations we need to complete. So we're integrating with lots of partners, but that list continuously grows. A great example is...
it'll never end that, I suppose.
It'll never end. We've been working on, shout out to GigPig. They're fantastic. We work with them.
GigPig, yeah.
And, I love what they're doing with the whole idea of music is such a key feature in pubs and bars. And there's natural integrations there that we're kind of, it's on our roadmap and things like that. But for us, it's all about the hotel industry, the booking engines as well. We feel like there's a lot of areas in the booking engines that can be naturally improved with what we've learned from the journeys that we're seeing.
I think it's quite clunky, isn't it? Or has been quite clunky in the past. No, I'm not offending anyone.
No. I think.
But I think it's more the journey, right?
But everything's changing to a degree because you don't just have to book now on a website. You could book integrated through Google. You can book in certain other ways. But I think what's quite apparent is the less clicks, the better. And AI needs to be able to book for you. I think that's a test that we've kind of integrated is, can you ask an AI tool to make a booking for you? So can it navigate your website and generate a booking from accessing your website? Because sometimes that's a pitfall because the AI will get so far and then not be able to complete the booking. So we're looking at things like that to ensure that every aspect of a support system or an integration can be met.
Like people like AdSalt, I don't know if you know those guys who are voice AI.
Oh, okay.
Where you can book through the voice AI, and I had them on the other week, and it was insane. Like the quality of the response time, really quick,
it's insane,
really accurate. Yeah, and it's just through a website, obviously makes it even smoother, right? So you go, as you said, one click straight in, and then you're chatting to a human.
Well, I think obviously like with chatbots and things like that was like the old school way that we used to work with, and that's kind of basically being eroded by the AI integration. So what we realized that it should never stop, because we have to integrate new features to our application to meet the demands of the public, that what they're expecting. What is the industry working on with AI tools? That it's such a buzzword, but it has to be because of the nature of the progress that it's making.
Yeah, it's fast.
It's
right?
fast. The idea hopefully is to make your life easier, and save you time so you can concentrate on attending to people at the bar, or your staff, or whatever is needed really for that shouldn't be taking time up with your website.
No, totally agree. And if people are listening and they're thinking, this sounds quite interesting, how do I get involved? How do they get hold of you, Gab? I know do you hang out on LinkedIn at all?
Oh yeah, I'm on LinkedIn. You can reach out to me on my usual networks. No, LinkedIn is a great one. And our website is 24social.io. It's that simple. Our data's there. If you need to reach out to us, there's a number there, and we'll happily talk to you and talk to your needs. And I think the key thing is to hopefully understand what it is that you're looking for. What barrier does anyone have with something that they already have? If you don't have a website, of course, that's great.
Yeah.
But if you have a website, what is it that's stopping you? And I think that's always a question. But I also like to ask, what's your journey?
Yeah.
Because then you get the interesting story about, I was just talking to you before we started, about how many plates do you actually spin, Chris? That is the question. How many more plates will you be spinning by the end of this podcast?
No, but it's true, right? And I think that you're doing two things. You're powering SME, right? Because if you look at the MyPlace product, you're actually part of their tech stack.
Yeah.
And for an SME to say they've got a tech stack is they're probably not thinking like that. But actually, the reality, they've got POS, they've got workforce management, probably got some kind of CRME tool, and they need a website. So you're powering that first part of the journey, as you want to call it, for SME. But then you've got that big role to play for these guys that grow, but nothing grows with them sometimes. So I think it's a massive problem, I think, not just in hospitality, across a lot of industries, where you'll build a website or you'll build a portal to show off what you do at certain stage 6 or 7 sites, whatever.
That's right.
Then you end up at 50 and you haven't really, or you've iterated as you've gone, and you end up with this kind of Frankenstein of a website. And you just need to stop and review, right? And I think people like you can kind of sit there, take away the pain, listen to what they need to get out of it and what the pain points are, and go away and fix it. And I think that's something that I suppose a lot of people don't really get to until they meet someone like you.
Well, it's a very good point, because you can have multiple formats, multiple designs that might work, but they might not work.
Yeah.
And we try to ensure that what we can provide to you is a much more centralized view for controlling all your domains and controlling all your designs. All powered by one tool. That's the key thing. So if you have multiple tools or multiple designs, how can we kind of tailor that to make it simplified and kind of streamlined? But the one thing is, you can't lose flair. You have to, the brand has to be passionate about, what you want to kind of showcase, and our application needs to be able to deliver that.
Yeah.
So we've worked with partners before that have said, we want it to really be a bit different. I said, okay, well, what is it you need? And we need the design to be not like a standard banner. We need this to be that. So then our UX experts come in and we go like, okay, well, we can do this, we can do that. But it's that journey. It's that whole conversation point. And then that's kind of what you get from us. It's that we don't just stop at it's built. It's very much a relationship that continues, and that's what good onboarding is. It's a case of making sure that the support is there, and then hopefully you're excited by what you're building to then funnel the roadmap for us.
100%.
So that's the key thing there.
And I think for us, one of the reasons I love Tech on Toast, because I built it, was about working with the people behind the tech. And I think relationships are everything. And anyone who's listening, for 24social, the people we've met from behind it are all just cool, right? Always
we're great.
Oh, yeah. No, but you won't like this, but they always turn up with a smile on their face. There's always a willingness to help. And I think everyone we've introduced you to, you've met, all of a sudden it moves very quickly, which just shows that you're actually solving a problem.
That's it. I think everyone's got a story to tell, and everyone's got to have their journey. If you're an entrepreneur, if you're a tenant, if you're an operator, you will have had trials and tribulations over the last 5 years to get to where you are, and we're no different. And I think that's the key thing, is to make sure that what we've built is going to make your life easier.
Yeah. And
then that way your time should be dedicated to the passion that you have, which is the people that you're serving, or the services that you're providing. The website should be a passion regardless, but that should be dealt with within us and you as a relationship. So that's kind of what we want to do, really. That's our mission statement. It really is to kind of be the top company to support the hospitality industry within our web presence, within our content management solutions that we have. And we're expanding those. We're trying to offer better value. Sporting fixtures is a big one. There's new features within the front end that we're looking at. What else can we do? And we kind of would love to know more from the customers themselves as to what they want. And sometimes they don't know what they want until they have it delivered. And
This
they're
is
like,
very
oh,
true.
they're like, oh, you've built that. Oh, but I'd like it to do this. Well, that's face.
Yeah, but often
That's
it's
fine.
very hard, isn't it? Until you see something in front
it.
of you. It's
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a very visual person, and that's
Yeah.
I can see when someone designs something. I know, guys, I need to see it before I can tell you
100%.
whether
yeah.
I think we're going the right direction. And what about you then? Because obviously that's the product and what you do on the day to day. What about a day off? You told me some interesting stuff. You said you're a compère for the school.
So with a voice like mine, Chris, you
but they'll all be judging you now.
No,
but
that's
yeah.
it. No, so my wife started as a DJ, and we've actually got a few DJs in my circle. Like Nick, the founder of the business, was a DJ back in the day.
Right. Okay. Are we talking Ibiza or are we talking local boozer?
I think it might be Croydon based. I don't know. I wonder if he's played Ibiza actually. I don't know. No, but my history. So my passions are. I've got a young daughter who we just completed our first 10K run this weekend, and she's only 10.
Wow.
So she's. I'm trying to really encourage her to kind of keep motivated. You know, girls in sport is a really big thing of mine to get her moving. And it keeps me fit because she pushes me, and it's embarrassing how far
literally
she
pushes
is.
you. Or?
No. I mean, without the fear of tripping, there is sometimes she just like mocks me a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's that little like every.
Mate, I've got an 18-year-old boy.
You know,
I've spent.
You know, when they diss you, it's harsh to take, but so you have to just step up a bit.
I played football in the garden with him for about 7 years when he was, from like 7 to 14 before he started mini league and all that. And I used to batter him. We used to literally score an overhead kicks. I was living my dream. And then he got good.
And then it was a humbling experience.
Yeah, and then I was punished. So you've got how old? 10-year-old?
She's 10 years old, and she's really passionate about sports. So we try to really kind of encourage that. Other things like my colleagues and I, we love to play golf and just get outdoors really. And we love our kind of we're all remote based, but we really value the importance of meeting up.
Yeah.
And we used to come here to Shoreditch Way, and we just go to different venues and just experience them. We've got our favourite pubs here in the area, and we just kind of ensure that we have a good time together when we're all here. So that's kind of like my passions really, and I love going back to Spain. I love speaking Spanish when I can. You wouldn't tell with my accent.
I'm not even going to start.
I can't even put it on. You're like,
I'm on what's it called? Not Dua Lipa. Duolingo.
Dua Lipa. You're on Dua Lipa, are you? Okay.
I actually saw her a few weeks ago at Wembley, but Duolingo. My daughter's challenged me to learn.
Good.
To learn Spanish by I think I've got till October to have a good. I speak French quite well. But
do you?
Yeah.
Okay,
let's not even go there.
Okay. But my colleague Pablo would love to chat to you.
Yeah. So
he can speak.
But I did that at A-level and then at uni and stuff. But yeah. So Spanish is my next. I kind of tinker around with it, but I'm not even now I know you speak Spanish, I'm not going to bother, but that's my challenge for me, because when you get old you need these challenges.
No, right? that's it like for me it's a case of I want to try to run a marathon. My knees aren't great, so I'm just building up to it, and just I'm trying to just do more things with my daughter, because while they're young you want to enjoy those years, because as you say, Chris, as they get older
100% mate,
they get the sass levels increase, so I'm just not looking forward to
that's
that.
a different type of sass to what this podcast is all
right,
about.
That's right, exactly. That is a different type of sass.
It really is. Yeah, but that'll be a post one day. Look, thanks, Gab. I appreciate it. We appreciate working with you as well. We love you guys and what you do. I think sometimes with tech it can be very complicated, and I think 24social is very simple. I'm not trying to be rude.
No. That's kind of the motto really, is to keep it simple.
Yeah, and I
really
think that resonates with the customers we talk to. So long may that continue. Thank you very much. Have a lovely day, and
likewise.
Hopefully, everywhere you go, you'll be lit up on the rest of your day.
I'm hoping people will stop me in the street now. That's what I want.
Yeah, that's all going to happen. Anyway, thank you for coming to Tech on Toast podcast. That was 24social. You can find them on the Tech on Toast website, on the marketplace, and you can find Gab floating around LinkedIn and on the contact details. Give us them again, because you gave us them before.
Yeah, so it's 24social.io, and it's Gab Lopez on LinkedIn.
Lovely. Thank you, mate. Have a great day.